so in this tutorial, we're going to be talking about the sequence formula and deep diving into it. So the sequence formula is just an easy way to create a sequence of numbers very easily. So instead of me going 1, 2, 3 and manually writing them out, there is an easier way where you can just use a formula and you can create the sequence that you want. So we're going to go through 3 different versions of it. We're going to do our normal sequence here. We're going to do one where we can actually do odd numbers, or we can skip to, like, if you want to do every 5 numbers, you could do it that version. And then I'm going to show you a combined version with the COUNTA formula to have tasks. As soon as you add in, let's say, text in a specific cell, it will automatically add a number beside it. So this is an automated numbering system that you can also create. That's a really cool feature. But the reason why we use sequences is there's a few different reasons we might use it. You might want to do create a monthly calendar. Now you can do it this way. I don't recommend it as much. I find there's better ways to create a monthly calendar, but yes, you can create a monthly calendar using the sequence formula. You can also generate day numbers. So if you want to do specifically, like if you're doing like a month thing, maybe you're doing a habit tracker and you want to do numbers 1 to 31, it's super easy to do that versus typing it all out. You can autofill week numbers. You can create habit rows instantly. So again, like this, where it just automatically counts them as you add in your task or your habits. And you can build dated planners without typing if you want to. Depends on what you're doing in your planners. Sometimes I recommend it, sometimes I don't. But that's a whole different video for that. So anyways, we're going to be doing our 3 different types of formulas. So I'm just going to get rid of these because we are going to fill them in now. So let's do a sequence formula. So I'm just going to select my cell, put in the equal sign, and then start typing in sequence. Now you can fully type it out into your left bracket. I'm lazy, so I'm just going to click on the sequence, and it already pops up letting me know exactly what I need to put in for my sequence formula. So we've got some options here. So it's definitely asking me the rows. So it wants to know how many rows it needs to put in. Now over here we've got different options, and these are optional because they are in square brackets. So it's saying, hey, you can let me know how many columns you want. So if you want to do it across columns, this works especially for calendars. If you want to let me know what number we're starting at, because if you don't put a starting number, it'll just assume we're starting at number 1. But if you want to start at, like, let's say number 5, then you want to make sure you have that start number there. And then you can put in the option for how many steps you want in between. So you can choose to put those. They're all optional. So this is optional, this is optional, and this is optional. If you don't want to put it and you just want to put the number of rows, let's say I want to put in 30 because I want to see 1 through 30. I'm just going to type in 30 and then put my right bracket and hit enter. And as you can see, it's put all the numbers in there. So it automatically will put those numbers in there, and you can update it anytime you need to. So you don't need to come back here and be like, okay, well, I need to put 31 here, so 31. No, you don't need to do that. All you need to do is go to where your formula is and then update those numbers. So if I want to put in 50, I put in 50 and it automatically updates it. So you don't have to do a lot of the work. We're letting the formula do the work for you. All right, so now we're going to do it where we are skipping a few numbers. And so I'm just going to select my cell where I want to put my formula. I'm going to do equals sequence. And again, I'm going to select it. Now it's asking me how many rows I want. So just how many numbers do you actually want to show up? Even though we're skipping some numbers, how many full numbers do you want in there? So let's say I just want 10 of them. I'm going to do my comma. Now, if this shows you as a semicolon, depending on which country you're in, you might do a semicolon, but mine is showing a comma, so I'm just going to do a comma. Now it's asking me my columns. I only want to do 1 because I just want it all in the same column. It's going to ask me my start. So if I wanted to just say do the odd numbers, I would start at 1, and then I would do it for every 2. So that would be my step. If you're doing even numbers, you would start at 2. And then you would do every 2, because then it'd do 2, 4, 6, 8, and go for the even numbers. So you just want to make sure, like, if you want to start at 5, you can start at 5, up to you. I'm going to start at 1, and then I'm going to do another comma, and then now we're on our step. So now this is the actual difference of between what number that you start with and the one that shows up next. So for example, I'm starting at 1. If I want it to show a 5 next, I would put in a 4, because the difference between 1 and 5 is 4. So if I put in a 4 there and close that off, it will now count by every 4. So we got 5, we got 9, 13. So it'd go every 5 or 4 numbers. So like the 4 sorry, every 5 numbers because the difference is 4. But if I do a 5 here, it would do 6, 11, 16. So you can see that the difference between the 1 and the next number, that's what's going to replicate. So if I just want to do it every 2, so it's just the odd numbers, you can see it goes 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So all the odd numbers. So that's how you could do this step there. So just test it out, see what numbers you actually want to show up. Most people will either do like odd or even numbers, but it's totally up to you and how you want to do it. Now here we're going to nest into formulas. So we're going to do the sequence formula as well as the COUNTA, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to automatically start counting in here based off of whether there is some text in the cell beside it. So every time that I add in a new task, I wanted to add in a new number. So to do that, we'll need to combine the sequence formula with the COUNTA, because the COUNTA formula just calculates how many cells actually have text with it or inside of it. So that's why we need to nest them together. So I'm going to start my numbering right here. I'm going to do equal sign sequence. And then right away, it's asking me my rows. And to do the rows, we're going to use the COUNTA. Like I said, I want it to show up as I start adding in new tasks. I want it to automatically calculate that number. So we're going to do the COUNTA. So I'm going to select COUNTA. And then I'm going to select a range of cells where I want to have it. So even the blank ones, whatever range you want it to calculate for, you're going to select that. Then I'm going to put a right bracket. And then I'm going to put a right bracket because all I want is it to show up when I add in a new task. So as you can see, it's just counted in the 3 tasks because these are the ones that have text actually in their cells. But as I add in task 4, it automatically calculates. So I can type in anything, and as long as there is text within the cell beside it, it will start counting. So that's an awesome way to do it. So those are some ways you can use sequence. It just makes life a lot easier, especially when I am doing like a numbered checklist or a numbered list of some kind. I like doing sequences because I rather do that than having to manually either number out or using the magical blue dot, even though that saves us time. Like if we were to do 1, 2, 3, and then I was to highlight these and then just copy them, it will magically like fill in those numbers as we pull it down, but you're still manually having to drag it down, especially if you're trying to do like 100 numbers. You're there for a bit being like, let's just drag it all the way down until we get 100. Whereas this is easy just to type in, we want a sequence of 50. If I want a sequence of 100, I just put 100 and bam, it's already done. So sequence makes your life easier. But let me know if you have any questions. If you're brand new to Google Sheets, don't forget to check out my free mini course, the Wild Heart Spreadsheet Academy. It is a free mini course that teaches you all the basics of Google Sheets. So if you've never touched Google Sheets, this is perfect to start. Even if you've played with Google Sheets before, this is a great refresher showing you all the different cool things you can do in Google Sheets. Plus, you learn how to create a cute weekly planner, and you'll also get a custom GPT that will help you plan out your first 5 spreadsheet ideas. So check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.